It's day 1 of 31 days to regenerate your world. And what's the deal with farmers markets?
We are regenerative dads, guys who can't stand mommy blogs or hipsters, but still want to leave their kids a better world. Podcasting to you from their man caves in Colorado, Danielle Freeman and Jason Gray are being organic and green, and still being men about it. Here are your hosts, Danielle and Jason, Regenerative Dads.
Hey Regen Dads, this is Danielle Freeman.
And this is Jason Gray.
And you're on day 1 towards regenerating your world like a dad. Today's episode is supported by a bee-friendly company out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. And we're talking about farmers market, so let's get at it.
We're on a 1-month Dad's Boot Camp for all things green, organic, and eco-thrifty to get you up to speed with the stuff your kids are talking about and why your hipster nephews glares at you when you pull the Roundup out of the garage. Give us 10 minutes a day for the next 31 days and we'll help you to stop poisoning the yard and the kids, learn to tolerate farmers markets that mom makes you go to, and even be able to wade through all this hippie granola talk out there about what you do in your home, your castle, and how it affects the local and global environment.
Farmers markets. Why are they so popular and how is a dad supposed to navigate them?
Well, you seem to have pretty much 3 types of farmers markets. You have your farm stands, which pretty much are just one company on the side of the road, sometimes in front of their farm, and sometimes it's just out on the side of the highway for no particularly good reason.
You have your so-called farmers markets that are really, just craft shows or business expos. Really, yeah, your Mary Kay dealers, some scarves, stupid sayings, t-shirt vendor.
Now, don't knock the t-shirt guy. My kids love getting me snarky t-shirts for Christmas and holidays, and that's basically all I wear anymore.
And the kettle corn, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll get some value-added local stuff like milk soap, a guy selling honey, and maybe a stand selling produce or two. Then you've got your farmers markets that actually have farmers, plural. A few veggie people, maybe the meat guy, someone selling duck or quail eggs.
Quail eggs?
Yeah, quail eggs. And some local food restaurants. So, how do you tell the difference between all of those?
Well, you really got to get a feel for the vendors. And just as you're driving up, or even after you get out of your car in the parking lot, get a feel for what's going on there. How many vendors are there that are completely not food related at all? So check it out. Basically, if you see a real estate agent booth or a chiropractor booth, just get back in the car, because that means the market master, the person who's running the joint, is just letting anybody with $20 and a pop-up tent set up there. And I say that with some really good friends who are realtors and backcracking chiropractors, and they do a good booth, but they do it at business expos, not real farmers markets like we're talking about. And your better local food, organic growers, they'll tend not even to try those kinds of markets. They won't be vendors there. And even worse, not only will you not come home with any real food, the wife and the kids are going to spend forever looking through all those scarves, and you're going to be stuck talking to the Mary Kay lady. You might get a free massage at the chiropractor's booth, though.
What's another get back in your car before unbuckling the kids sign? If you pull up to a single vendor farm stand kind of thing, you'll be able to see their produce pretty quickly. Is there anything there super obviously not grown in your region or not in season?
Oranges in Colorado, perhaps?
Yeah, oranges. Then forget it. They're reselling out of the region or even out of the country stuff. And you might as well go to Walmart or Albertsons or something. But is there a way to find markets without just driving around all day with the kids, getting ticked off in the back seat of the car?
Most of your local newspapers and most markets are going to have a list of farmers markets in the area. They'll usually publish this in the paper towards the beginning of the harvest season of the farmers on their website in the archives.
I don't know if you've looked at localharvest.org is another good place to check. They have most of the likely real local vegetable and meat farmers listed. plug in your city, click farmers markets, and then get a halfway decent list. I think this works better for more urban areas, have a local food culture. It's crowdsourced, and I could tell the Colorado Springs one seemed to leave a few out, but this is where Fast Food Nation was based on. So, there you go.
Yeah, there's not much of a local or whole food environment here in the Springs, but if anything, that's actually where the best places to go to farmers markets and find real food is, because they're going to be a little bit less popular. You're going to get a better deal. So once you find a farmer's market that's promising, what's the plan of attack? How do we keep this from being like a mall trip with the family?
Yeah. Well, shopping with the family. There's some aspects that you can't avoid. The kids are going to want to buy all the wood handcrafted toys, and mom's wants that potpourri.
Any other insensitive stereotypes you want to add there, bro?
I could, but I'm not going to do that right now.
Not on episode 1. We'll let our true colors show in maybe episode 4.
But if your family really doesn't do farmers markets that often, or mom isn't a hardcore local foodie type, then you get the knowledge about being a regenerative dad, is where you can take control of the troops and lead them into the market battle.
Now, remember, one of the first rules of Regen dadness, no mansplaining. Or as little as you can. Or, we can't help it. So at least be aware that you sound like a total jerk when you do that.
We recommend doing a quick flyby of the booths. Let the kids know that if they see something they want to come back to, we will. The biggest, and I mean the biggest,
hugest
mistake people make in a farmer's market is not doing the flyby. Top Gun request permission to buzz the tower.
Tower, this is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
What happens if you buy all the food you need at the first stop, and then you see a way better looking place, less expensive, or healthier stuff down this aisle over here? No returns at the farmer's market. Once the carrot hits the sack, it's yours. Because otherwise you want to buy the carrot that was in some hipster's unwashed hemp reusable sack. Nope.
Nope. All right, Donnell, so you did your flyby. You know what the booths look like, and maybe which ones have the best deal on veg or pork meats. The finest meats and cheeses in all the land. So what now?
Well, what's the point of going to the farmer's market anyways? I mean, you can just buy
keep mom happy.
Yeah, there you go. Got to make mom happy. You go there because you want fresh food, or organic, or regenerative. Is it local? You want to try to eat seasonally, which that's pretty tough to do. It really is around here. You want to try new stuff. Kohlrabi, is that like pistachio ice cream?
Don't worry, we'll get to defining what some of these weird sounding vegetables are in later episodes. So we need to figure out what's really those 4 things. Don't just go on appearances. You can't just judge a farmer's market vendor by the cover. Just because the folks behind the booth look like farmers and the stuff on display is in, wood or wicker baskets on the table doesn't mean they grew it.
Yeah, some of them they'll even have barcodes on them. Some of the farmer markets I've been to.
Some markets actually make their vendors prove that they grew the food. But those are going to be your higher end markets, and you'll only have 1 or 2 of those per city. So ask. No, it's not like asking for directions. Man up, be a regen dad. Walk up to the person behind the counter and ask, did you grow this? If the answer isn't yep, or something similar, then you either move on to the next booth or proceed with extreme caution. What we're watching for is stuff that was imported from out of country and being resold at a premium just because of the farmer's market setting. So many farmers markets have folks that literally go and buy cases of stuff shipped in from Mexico or the California Central Valley wholesale, and they just sell it by the bunch at a farmer's market. Big profits for them, but it tricks you into thinking you're getting the 4 things. And it undercuts the guys who are really trying to grow good stuff in your area. You should be really pissed off. Some jerk actually told me once, quote, well, all food is local food to someone. And when you buy their apricots at this Colorado market, you get to be, quote, an honorary California locavore. Well, heck, Twinkies are local food to somebody down the street from their factory. Donnell, help me out here. What else is a red flag?
Well, stuff that's clearly not in season here. Tomatoes in the wintertime or in the early spring, potatoes in the spring, anywhere. I guess spinach, kale, arugula, and other cold weather greens in the summer, Texas and South, citrus in the Northeast, basically everywhere. The next step is figuring out how they grow the food. There's no point in being fresh and local if it's covered up, from Roundup pesticides and other things that we may venture into in later episodes. Farms that are certified organic are going to trumpet that from every label and sign they got. The problem is for the small local guys, we're trying to support here. Organic certification is a real pain in the ass and really, really expensive. It takes up to 3 years to get if their land has ever been used for for growing with pesticides. And it's a lot of paperwork, having bureaucrats come through your farm, which most of them also their home.
So how do you figure it out? Okay, this is going to be the key learning for the episode. This is the hack. This is what you learn for this day in our 31-day boot camp to be a Regen Dad. Again, you're going to have to ask. You're going to have to speak up. Don't worry, it's going to impress the wife. But if you just ask, is this grown organically? You're going to get a yep. Even from the guy with a Costco-sized barrel of Roundup in his garden. So here's the questions you ask and what you want to hear. First of all these need to be open-ended questions. Get the person behind the table talking. Maybe ask, I get why you might not be certified organic with the feds. I get that. So how is this food grown? Or do you have any other certifications? Besides certified organic, there's also certified naturally grown. There's certified biodynamic. There's other certifications out there. Ask, how do you control the weeds? How do you keep the bugs away? And this is the big one that's going to get the liars sweating every time. Hey, can I come visit your farm?
If you get a weird feeling on how they answer any of those, or you hear anything like Roundup or Bear or Weed Be Gone, or anything you might have used before you became a regenerative dad, then just say, okay, thanks, bro. And you just move on. If you hear integrated pest management or row cover, hand picking, hoeing, then you're probably on the right track. You want to hear stuff about compost, cover crops, rotation. Even if you don't know the terms, that's what you want to hear.
Let's take a quick break for our sponsor. The Regen Dad supporter of the day is a bee-friendly company of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Michael, the bee whisperer Jordan, produces some of the best honey we've ever tasted.
Great for making mead. Check him out at abfriendlycompany.com. Now, back to the show.
We'll talk about doing farm visits in a future episode, but just knowing that a farm is willing or even eager to have customer visits shows that even though they may not be government certified, they want to be client certified. And that's even better in our opinion.
Now you've got a sack full of all kinds of UFO-looking veggies and meat cuts. How are you going to cook it? What do you do with kohlrabi anyways?
Well, over at our site, regendads.com/31days, we'll have a few recipes of some of the stuff that's commonly at farmers markets, but you may not usually buy from the grocery if you had a choice.
Arugula, kohlrabi, bok choy, and parsnip pudding.
Including some stuff that we cook up as regenerative dads in our households that even our kids will eat.
How to make kale not suck.
We also have some reviews and recommendations for cookbooks and such on how to cook the weird stuff, both veggies and meat cuts that you might find at the farmers markets. So check out regendads.com/31 days to get all that.
Okay, guys, get with being a regen dad.
Come back next episode for the next simple, guy-proof way to regenerate your world. In the meantime, check out regendads.com, and on social media, well, if it's a thing, we're probably on it.
Figure it out. Not hard.